limited palette drawing human face. Student works. They love school, doctor's degree. Everybody's ready except...
All of the great artists were not on the future Van Gogh or even...
My role here is to say, draw the head face.
It is not very well drawn. Perhaps it was done by an American.
A part of the middle, surgical.
I started to love professionally painting for 20 plus years of experience.
And then I cry, eating like 1,000 times.
Or do you not?
I love bananas. She knows.
Bananas are identical.
No, watercolor. That's not brainy.
Do you like banana?
Play piano. I don't know. Yes. We
Color.
play banana roller.
You and you. I'm very old.
Was it challenging? Not really.
Perhaps.
It's really good.
And he went for a smoke. I cannot play drums anymore. Not actually like plastic. Vistula University in Warsaw, Poland. Thanks for watching. That was quite something in terms of the amount of editing work that I had to personally do. So, I'm sorry or not, but today I would like to actually take some more simplistic approach to creating the content. Not yet. I'm not doing an interview with a chicken now. It's too long of a process. I hope that the information provided in the form of words will be of value and interest to you, my dear viewers. In two separate lectures filmed at the Graphic Faculty of the Vistula University in Warsaw, Poland, I discuss various color palettes. So we're moving beyond the so-called basic palettes to create some successful and interesting color mixes. The second lecture explains a part of the task laying ahead of the students. Once again, my name is Bartosz Milewski. I graduated from Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle, Washington, USA, receiving a BFA in painting and videography. A few years later, I also received a master's and a doctorate degree in painting from Fine Arts Academy in Kraków, Poland. I mostly paint, I draw a lot, like 1,000 sketches a year. On occasions I do some mural projects or sort of a legal street art. But aside from that, it always has been my passion to lecture, to teach groups as well as individual students, and it has also been a source of inspiration. So now let's go to Vistula, and today actually I'm taking you there via a bike ride, crossing the Vistula River, or Wisła in Polish, from which the university takes its name. Okay, so enjoy the show! Okay, applause for the cameraman. He's a video blogger, actually. Did you know that? He's a video blogger. Okay, you can show your face for, yeah. Tell you what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, you're from Almaty, right? And you're making a blog about your city.
Yeah. Myself.
Okay. What's the name of the blog?
Just work number 1, number 2.
Okay, well, I actually need a microphone, sorry.
Okay. I do some vlogs.
Record.
Myself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello guys, my name is Sultan. I'm just a little video blogger. and I took some videos, vlogs for my own self, like what I do this month, something like that. But I didn't have a title, I didn't have name. I just recording myself.
It's on what is this on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
I can give you a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So he's our cameraman for today. Our star is missing, but she will come for the second class. So, looking at all this work that I did, I'm so impressed with myself. I mean, I learned because as a painter, I just mix paints. I know some vocabulary, but not all of them. And, I have 2 languages to take care of. So I did some research and I added my own thoughts here. Let's start traditionally from the left. So, apparently, hue is the color in its purest form with no added shade, tint, or tone. That's a E-N-E at the end. Shade. Shade. If you ask about the shade of color, you ask, is there black added, or what's the amount of black? As you know, we use Payne's gray instead of black. Some people say that's a wonderful thing. Some painters say no, never use Payne's black, it's not good. Payne's black consists of Mars black and ultramarine, sometimes also crimson. So if you dilute it with white, it becomes kind of, I guess that's the idea behind it, becomes bluish, which is a nice thing if you want to paint landscapes with aerial perspective. Also, just for your own sake, try mixing some black with instead of Payne's gray. You will see that you get sort of a matte, dead color. I don't know how else to describe it. However, some addition of black in your painting might be a good thing. And another note, Impressionists didn't use black in their paintings. On the other hand, the later artist by the name Matisse wrote to his friend Picasso, I discovered black, and each time when I don't know what color to use, I use black. So small additions of black. Black is very dangerous. I can make a flat, large space that is kind of lacking detail and is empty. Okay, could you show the class like they're so nice today? I don't know what happened. I guess it's the magic of YouTube, Last time they were talking, nobody was listening, except maybe one person. Okay, let's continue. I guess their parents see the video, look at the videos. I guess that's the motivation, right? So, tint, on the other hand, is an addition of white, meaning what's the tint means how much white there is added. And tone is addition of gray, that is black. Oh, somebody misspelled it. But don't worry, I make spelling mistakes in every language. Okay, nobody's perfect, guys. Okay, okay. Let's move to this part actually, because that's the order. So some types of color palettes. The first thing was added here by me. So it's a basic, all-around boring palette of 9 paints, which you already know. You can mix most of the colors with it. And I will repeat, repetition is important for learning. If you go to the store and buy a secondary color, let's say orange, or be it green, and it's an expensive tube of paint, you look at it, there is only one ingredient, one pigment. No ingredients, more ingredients, but one pigment. So it's a chemical compound, a powder, think of it as a powder that has a particular color. Let's say a vibrant killer orange. Okay, if you want the killer orange, you spend all your money that would otherwise go for tuition or whatever, or cigarettes. Who's smoking here? Okay, so quit smoking and buy orange. Okay? And you will have extra money that you saved on medical bills in the future. So, okay. I never quit smoking because I never smoked. So yes, you can more or less mix all the colors from it, but if you want the vibrant ones, you buy single pigment paints that cost a small fortune. I think we discussed it in our 4th episode, I think. Next, monochromatic color palette. What do you think it is?
All the tones of the gray color.
All the colors of the gray color.
It's all over the shades.
What is the shade? Or whatever, or cigarettes. Who's smoking here? Okay, so quit smoking and buy orange. Okay? And you will have extra money that you saved on medical bills in the future. So, okay. I never quit smoking because I never smoked. So yes, you can more or less mix all the colors from it, but if you want the vibrant ones, you buy single pigment paints that cost a small fortune. I think we discussed it in our 4th episode, I think. Next, monochromatic color palette. What do you think it is?
All the tones of the gray color.
All the colors of the gray color.
It's all over the shades.
What is the shade? Amount of added black. Yeah, that could work. That could work, I guess.
All the tones of the gray color.
Okay, but what if you use green instead of gray, I mean black?
Black
Green
instead of...
and white would also be.
Okay,
right?
we can get the green mixed black and white.
Oh, that's not monochromatic though, because you have 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I know it because there used to be monochromatic computer screens. Very, in the age of dinosaurs. When I was going to school, I had to fight them on my way. So, fighting the dinosaurs and looking at the windows of computer stores, they were monochromatic CTR, the monitors with a butt in it. And they had only yellow, let's say, or green and black, and they were called monochromatic. So, this is becoming interesting. Analogous color palette. Who knows? Some people here, like you did the reading, and who else was doing the reading? Nobody. Okay, you were at the store. So analogous is you have the colors that are close on a color wheel. That's basically an analogous color palette. And we will do something like that after this week and the next week, because, okay, there's also complementary color palette and split complementary color palette, which I guess it's something of both worlds. I have to do the reading again. I don't remember. Okay. So today we will be using, this is kind of, not, okay, so secondary, and the next is in English, the three, no, okay, so the mix of, not the mix, the colors in between the secondary colors are triadic, yes, triad, okay. And tetraidic, okay, I will write on the screen. But there are also my choices of palettes, something that I learned over the years. Well, limited I haven't learned, actually. I used it sometimes, but today you will be asked to use a limited color palette. Today's task, you will choose 4 paints, your own choice. 4 paints, but don't ask me, are we using 4 colors? Not exactly, because you still are painting, and therefore you are mixing these paints, right? And to make today's task exciting, thank you. It will be a portrait of a loved one or somebody close, like a friend, somebody that you actually know, not an actor, but somebody from your family or a friend. Not an animal, but it can be somebody with your cat. Okay, so there has to be a human, so that you learn, exercise, practice drawing portraits or portrait with a figure. You would probably choose white and black or gray, and then 2 other colors, although that's not a rule. I've seen somebody not choosing white, choosing yellow, lemon yellow instead of white. So that is something to think of, and also think how can you mix them and what will come from it, like you need something dark probably. So what do I mix to have something dark in my paints? So it becomes very intellectual at the beginning. Or you can go with the mood and say, this person is cheerful and I want to use bright colors, or simply this person likes green, so I will use green. Okay? Because you might, in the future, give this portrait to the person as a present. Okay, and being as manipulative as I am, I make you paint something that you will care about, and you will, most of you at least, go into a lot of effort to make it the best you can, right? I'm so manipulative, yes.
The mastermind.
Yeah, the mastermind. Okay, and non-saturated paints plus gray or black palette. That's my discovery. Because you might think, well, I can desaturate any color. I can. Or actually, I can tint any color. I can add white. The thing is, no, okay, go on. That's okay. You can film the class as well, unless somebody just wants to be filmed, then cover your face. But I go to the store, I buy paints that have white in them. They're not as saturated as the ones in the basic palette, for example. And what happens if I have them in front of me? My mind starts working differently, and the outcome becomes different. So what I'm saying, an important discovery of mine, even though you can mix some colors, you're not going to do that. So the colors that are given to you make you think in different ways, make you do something differently.
No.
There is also a portrait palette. Somebody was supposed to do the research. No?
Someone is really shy.
Okay, but you don't have to show your face. No? Just tell me, because I don't know. I know that there was titanium buff instead of titanium white, for example. So it's something closer to the tone of the skin. Crimson, ochre perhaps. Come on, come on! Brown, like umber. Ochre, I said ochre. Burnt sienna, yes. Burnt umber.
Yellow ochre.
Yellow ochre.
Cadmium red light.
Cadmium red light.
What else? Sap green.
Sap green. Oh, okay. I didn't think. What blue? Ultramarine blue. Okay.
Ivory black.
Ivory black.
That's pretty.
Yeah, so ivory black is any bones that are burned black. There is also, did not approve, could you? Yes, this work broke all the rules that we talked about. I heard it's old school, but maybe it's very, very old school, like the school with very little. Andy Warhol, when he was, yeah, it will be a remake.
Outlines were added to define spatial relationships.
Oh, do you want to go on camera saying that? Oh my God.
Outlines were added to define spatial relationships clearly, because in still nature you always can confuse something with something, because everything gets mixed up, and outlines define them and makes you see what are they. So that was an idea.
So he has a polemic nature. He's saying the European tradition is not what I'm interested in.
It also looks like a bit like Fauvism, I think.
Like Fauvism?
Yeah.
Kind of Fauvist aquarelle watercolor that was exposed to rain, somewhat, not saturated. But I noticed how the lines are not very straight.
That
What's the purpose?
Defines not stability, because we're not in stability world. Everything goes to shit.
That's deep. That's deep. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, applause. And he just turned 18. You know, he's an adult, which means he can go to jail. And in Poland, for this, I don't know. Your sentence will be tough. Okay, going back to less interesting things. the last palette I can think of is that I like the color palettes. Okay, I walk to the store, you know, and I'm in a different set of mind. I never did drugs in my life, but I guess that's similar. And I say, oh, this color is so wonderful. I can take this and take this and take this. It's tax deductible because, you know, I have a small business, so to speak. Okay, and now we go to this. I went to an exhibition of Jarosław Modzelewski. You can Google him up. It was about 2 or 3 years ago. Some of his paintings are really killer. The other look kind of okay, well. He's a professor at the Warsaw Art Academy. What he has been doing is mixing his own paints. Tempera paints. Egg tempera. So he buys a pigment. That's what he has to buy. I mean, he doesn't make his own pigments. Takes egg, the yellow part. What is it called? Not yolk. Is it yolk?
Yes.
Egg yolk, vinegar, linseed oil, some water. He mixes it and then either paint or go to the fridge because it's gonna be stinky if you leave it open, especially in the summer. Okay, so you can mix your own paints if you want, tempera paints. Tempera paints, a technique older than oil paints. Oil paints have this flash look, like the skin. Temperas are more matte. But I noticed what he does. For example, in this painting, Wczasowicz z Kołobrzegu. What is Wczasowicz? Somebody who goes for vacation. Kołobrzeg, German Kolberg, is a city by the Baltic Sea, or town. So if you Google this painting up, you will see that he has a process of you're mixing a base color, and now they are not listening. And this is like so exciting, and you will receive a 2. If you do. First thing you do, let's say you want to have 4 containers of paint. So you have to divide it into 4 equal parts. One of them, okay, it's not equal. One of them ends up in your container. A container with the color A. The rest is taken for further processing. So this A, you add some B to it. And again, you're dividing it into 3 parts. One of them, you understand? Okay, one of them ends up in a container. That is A plus B. The rest is moved for further processing, mixing, that is. Again, you repeat the same process. So now you have A plus 2B. And again, you're dividing it, this time into half. And you end up with a mixture of A plus 2B as well as the rest is going here. And what? That's the remaining part. Now, again, the same process. So you put it in a jar, and you have A plus 3B. That's your palette of similar colors, like a gradient. If you imagine this is black, then it is going to be more and more black or gray, whatever. Yes? If it's white, it's gonna be lighter and lighter. But perhaps think in terms of something more unusual, like adding green to orange, or blue and black to red. Unusual mixes. Aside from that, you also are welcome to use black or Payne's gray. Payne's gray has actually Mars black and ultramarine in it. Black plus white plus something that is a complementary color. To one of these, or semi-complementary. What it means, mostly, if your palette consists of warm colors, then you would need a cool color to complement it. If the other is true, you have cool colors here, then you also need something warm. And on a different thing, the subject. Your subject should be, we will go with something that was usually done in the third semester, but now you have more classes, twice as much. So I want you to think about your place, your home, your street, something like that. It can be a daily visit to a bakery, something from your everyday life. This time I don't want to go too much. I don't want you to go too much into a general cultural thing of your country or region, but something more personal. Something everyday.
It doesn't really have to be a nature, it just has to be something that feels like home.
Doesn't have to be nature, yes.
Okay.
It can be a piece of architecture. It can be, somebody was showing me their desk, right? In another group, there was a trip in a car, which was appealing to many people because it was a simple yet effective composition and something that you don't often see in painting. So it wasn't overdone. It was something fresh and new, yet from everyday life. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope I provided some useful information and the work of my students inspired you and has shown you some interesting solutions in painting. As always, please subscribe, leave a comment, press the bell button, share with other people. I would be very glad. And when we reach the modest 500 subscribers, I know it's nothing, I will cover 100 pages of A3 paper with rather straight, hand-drawn horizontal lines. So if you want to make the teacher suffer, it's your big chance. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.